We're honored to have with us today, leading us in the pledge, we have Sergeant First Class Matt Burkhofer. Would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sergeant, well, you want to go to the podium and tell us a little bit about yourself?
So you're always saluting, right?
Morning, everyone. Sergeant First Class Matt Burkhofer. I'm 32 years old, married. My wife's name's Amanda. Daughter's name's Brooke. She goes to Merwin, and we live in Amelia. I'm currently with the 1194th Engineer Company out of Chillicothe, Ohio, and we just got back from a year-long deployment to Kuwait in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. While we were there, we actually did missions in Jordan, Iraq, and me personally, I went to Afghanistan for 4 months. I'm a platoon sergeant, so I was in charge of about 40 soldiers. So it got kind of hectic when I had half go to Iraq, 5 go to Jordan, half with me to go to Afghanistan, and then there was 4 or 5 left back in Kuwait. But we had a successful mission. Nobody got hurt. Everybody's home. Well, I shouldn't say everybody didn't get hurt. I didn't know I was actually hurt until I got home. But, we did pretty much base maintenance. Iraq and Afghanistan, the missions were a little more important, I guess you could say. We're rebuilding some bases over there. And then Afghanistan, where I was, we actually had a lot to do with base security and force protection over there. Redesigning some things and building some new structures. I don't want to say too much. But overall, it went real good. I actually surprised my daughter at Merwin on a Monday. I got home on a Saturday night, and my dad and my mom, my dad Greg right there, watched my daughter Sunday and took her to school Monday, and Merwin actually had a fake spelling bee, and everybody else had like dog, cat, hat, whatever. Her word was homecoming. So when she got up there and was spelling it, I walked through the door and stood in front of her, and she was in such deep concentration on the word that she didn't even notice me. So I was like, well, I'll wait to see. She spelled it right though. And then she saw me, and it was great. And the one thing I did want to say is I came home that Saturday night, and when you're gone for a year from your family, there's a lot of different emotions, especially just being with my wife. But I knew I was home when I went under that bridge on 275, and it said support our troops. In Clermont County, like even on the Facebook post, Clermont County had somebody take pictures of my daughter at Merwin, me surprising her. The school was more than willing to help. And just, even like my dad said, seeing the people from Clermont County and their support after seeing the videos and the pictures of just me surprising, like don't even know me, just saying thank you. It means a lot to all of us because, especially right now, there's sometimes that we feel like we're forgotten. Clermont County's never been that way. And I just want to say thanks for your support. And I'm glad to be home.
It's ironic you talk about that video that was on Facebook. That's how I met him.
Yeah.
When I saw that, and then I saw it, and immediately he said, hey, how'd you like to come to our commissioner's session? And he jumped right on it too. Of course, it was going to be voluntold anyway, so
Well,
he wasn't going to have a
my
choice.
schedule's clear for the next 2 months, so.
Well, we have a little certificate. Gentlemen, if you want to join me, we want to present to you. Yeah, you're fine right there. Right here, buddy. We have a certificate of appreciation presented to Sergeant First Class Matt Burkhofer, United States Army, and we thank you for your courageous commitment to serving our country while serving in Operation Spartan Shield in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Your bravery and dedication to the cause of freedom are to be commended. Clermont County is proud of you, and a grateful county salutes you. We commend you for your service, and we welcome you home. Signed by the Board of Commissioners, myself, David Ubel, and Ed Humphrey. So on behalf of the board, I want to present this to you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
thank you for
Thank you.
everything. And I think we've got, Commissioner Ubel has something for you.
Actually, Governor Kasich was going to be here today, but he called last night and said he had a toothache. So, but this is from the state of Ohio, Governor John Kasich's office. On behalf of the state of Ohio, we thank you for your service to our nation, including in Operation Spartan Shield and Operation Enduring Freedom. We are truly blessed to live in a land of unparalleled liberty and opportunity. But these blessings do not come to us without cost. They are bought and paid for by the service and sacrifice of generations of American military men and women. We are grateful for your dedication to our country, and we extend our best wishes for continued success in all your future endeavors. Those are signed by Governor John R. Kasich and Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
do that as well.
You stay here and we will retreat. Got a few more surprises for you.
Oh, I like surprises.
Howard?
Matthew, you're one of us now. I'm going to say welcome back home too. I'll put this here. There's some
Okay.
stuff there for you.
All right.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
There's 15,500 veterans in Clermont County, and you're officially one. I have our challenge coin for you. I know you're into challenge coins.
Oh, yeah.
Most of veterans are. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I thank you for your service. And these gentlemen here, they're very proud of you. And be thankful you're from Clermont County, because it's the greatest county around.
Trust me, I know.
Well, I know you do.
Trust me, I know.
But welcome home, and if you go back, we'll be thinking of you and praying for you, and we're just proud of you. That's all I can say.
Thank you.
If you get a chance, you're welcome at my office over there, just the next building over,
Okay.
3rd floor. And we'd be glad to have you. Get you a free cup of coffee or a free cup of tea.
I'll go do coffee all day.
Well, Howard's not telling you too is actually Vietnam vet, Purple Heart, and Military Hall of Fame here in the state.
Yeah, he has to rub that in. And I am going on the honor flight on October 22nd, so I'm thrilled.
Oh, yeah,
thrilled.
I'd be thrilled too. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have our state representative, Doug Green. See, Matt, you didn't know any of this stuff.
Nothing.
That's right.
Well, we've
And
already
he hit me
spoken.
with got a quick speech you got to give. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, first, Sergeant, welcome home. We appreciate. I'm not going to shake your right hand.
Okay.
We shook hands earlier. I'd just like to express some personal gratitude for your service, for your willingness to step up and protect our freedoms. You know, when we have these opportunities to thank our veterans, it's almost words can't describe our feelings, because we are such a grateful nation. And obviously Clermont County has a reputation of honoring and appreciating their vets. I would like to think that Brown County does too. I'm from Brown County, serving in Brown and Clermont counties as a state representative. But I would just like, on behalf of the Ohio House of Representatives, to say thank you for your willingness to serve. And because of you and others like you, we can express our appreciation, we can express our gratitude, and we can express our disagreements in a public forum without fear.
Absolutely.
And I do appreciate that so much.
Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you.
I guess that's enough.
Okay.
Now we're going to get a picture with you. And Dad, come on up with them. Presenters, come on up.
And I'd have done it without the picture.
We don't talk about glare on the head.
We were talking about glasses.
Oh.
Yeah, because then on the head's a halo, not a glass.
Right, that's exactly right. Man, we didn't say dismissed yet.
Thank you.
All right. Keep in touch too. Feature cover. Yeah, you definitely don't want us to do the rest of this.
A few seconds.
And I'm gonna get you to
John Deere.
That's the first one. Wait, I can do my thing here now.
Further down.
Okay, now we have a presentation from Chris Klingman with our county park district. And brought a special guest with him. He's going to talk about the Clermont County Park Levy that's going to be on the ballot this November, of which we all encourage everyone to vote for as well. Chris?
Bob. I'm Chris Klingman, Director of the Clermont County Park District, and yes, this fall we will be on the ballot for a half-mil property tax levy to support the operations and redevelopment, improvements, and repairs to the Clermont County parks throughout the county. We have several opportunities for some new parks and some new facilities within our existing parks, and this will help fund all those things. But we're really looking at the levy as being able to increase the quality of life in Clermont County. And with me today I brought Jim Meyer, who's been one of our volunteers and helping maintain our trails and all, but he's also a citizen in Clermont County that really enjoys our parks, and I'd like for him to talk a little bit about how he enjoys our parks.
Awesome.
Thank you, Chris. Well, good morning, everybody. I am Jim Meyer. I'm a Clermont County Park volunteer, first and foremost. And I also support what the sign says here, the levy, issue 15. Let me take just a few moments to try to explain why I feel that we should all support this levy. 30 years ago, thanks to some tax incentives from Clermont County, I located a business here in Clermont County. And because our business was very, very much up on volunteering in the areas where we were located, we were encouraged to volunteer, and I did. So I worked my way up to in the Clermont Chamber of Commerce. I chaired the board of directors of the Clermont Chamber of Commerce, and I chaired the United Way campaign for Clermont and Brown County, among other things that I did. But most of those were really business and civic activities. 10 years ago, I left the corporate world and started a trail company. Pretty good career change, wasn't it? And my wife and I moved to Clermont County. Actually, the previous tour, I was in Anderson Township. So we actually lived here and have ever since. And what I discovered through my career, through developing my career, was that Clermont County really has some amazing natural resources. There aren't many counties that can claim 25 miles of Ohio River frontage, 12 miles of the Little Miami National and Scenic River, 3 state parks with the largest acreage of any county in the state of Ohio, and the nationally recognized Cincinnati Nature Center, and obviously the Clermont Park District with all its magnificent parks. And we also have about 30 smaller park entities around the county as well. So I developed my trail business. As I developed the trail business, I volunteered to work in the parks. And I've worked on the trails in East Fork, Cincinnati Nature Center, the Buckeye Trails that goes through East Fork State Park and other places, and Sycamore Park. So why did I do this? Well, first of all, I just love being outside, and I love experiencing nature. And I found in my life, it helps to provide balance. It relieves stress, and it provides perspective on life and work in general. So that applies to me whether I'm in the Swiss Alps, and I've hiked all over the world, whether I'm in the Swiss Alps or whether I'm just taking a hike over at Sycamore Park. They all get you to that situation where you're just enjoying what's out there. But there's probably another reason too, and it's our kids. And probably the best way to explain that to you is to tell a couple of stories. I have a small trail crew that works on the parks, Sycamore Park trails. And one day we were coming back across the bridge to the parking lot. I don't know how many of you have been to Sycamore Park, but in the back lot there, across the way, a couple picnic tables, and it goes directly down to the river. And there was a group of kids and an adult throwing rocks into the river. So as I was putting my tools away and sort of relaxing a little bit, I look over there, and then it became obvious to me that what was happening was a kid was showing his, or a dad was showing his kid how to try to skip rocks in the river. And he was trying to show him, the kid was just flinging them in, but dad was trying to show him how to pick flat rocks, and then how to throw it with a side angle so that it would skip. Well, I went about my business, and then a few minutes later, I heard this roar go up, turned to see kids jumping all over the place like they'd just caught a touchdown pass in a Super Bowl. And obviously the kid had skipped the stones successfully. And I suspect that father had his father show him how to do that. And I suspect the kid will probably be out there with his child in the future doing exactly the same thing. Other example is kids experiencing nature firsthand. I came across a naturalist that was out with a group of kids, and they were kind of huddled around a rock. Then all of a sudden, the naturalist just flipped the rock over, and the kids just screamed with delight when they saw all the creepy crawlies that were underneath that rock. And it's experiences like that that you need to preserve for our kids. Chris and his staff have just done a remarkable job of setting up the park systems and maintaining them on a shoestring budget. But unfortunately, that shoestring is starting to get shorter and it's starting to fray. So we need to give him more support. So I support the parks and this levy so that we can fix a lot of the infrastructure type problems that he has, and also continue to provide the programs, the nature experiences for us, not just me, but all of us, and our children and our grandchildren. So I'm hoping that you will do that as well. So thank you very much this morning.
It was today.
You were talking about skipping the stones. Well, over 30 years, our family, on the Humphrey side, my mom's side, has always had our family reunions at Sycamore, and love it. And that's funny because somebody has suggested, they said, well, do you want to start having them at Batavia Township at the park there? And our patriarch of our family, he said, absolutely not. We love it here. And so, kudos to that. But taking my 2-year-old son down to Little Miami, to there, and he hasn't learned how to skip yet, of course, but he, just throwing stones, and that look on his face to hear the splash and all that, it's priceless.
I have to apologize, Chris. I called you pretty early this morning to get a copy of a sign. We had a Cincinnati Enquirer photographer out to take a picture of the chairman of the Democratic Party as well as myself, chairman of the Republican Party, because we agreed that this is one thing we could agree on, and that is to vote for the park levy. even with all the differences these days, we're in agreement, and we thought that was a pretty neat photo op. But we needed a sign, and we were looking all over for a sign. But we found one on the corner of Haskell and Main Street, so it worked out well. But maybe the beginning of some other conversations as well. So.
And so if someone wanted to donate to the levy fund, how do they do that?
Checks can be made payable to people for Clermont Parks, and those can be sent to the Park District, and we'll get them to the treasurer, or they can go on the Facebook page, Clermont County Parks Levy 2016, and that'll have all the address, and I think there's even a link to a PayPal type of arrangement as well.
It'll make it very easy for people to donate.
Very easy, and that can help support some of the campaign things that we got going on.
And if they want a yard sign for their yard?
There's a phone number on that site as well, or they can call the Park District office, and we'll get them in touch with the right person. They can call that number at 513-732-2977.
You can also pick up signs at the Democratic and the Republican headquarters here on Main Street as well. We have them. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Jim, thanks for everything as well.
Thank you.
Of course, I get to be honored as being honorary chairman for the levy. Yeah, you can take that down if you want. All right, thank you. Well, we also have some new members of our team here at the county, and we'll start off with our CTC.
Good morning, I'm
Morning.
Lisa Gatwood, Director at CTC. Wanted to introduce Kathy Alsept. Kathy is a full-time non-CDL vehicle operator. She started with us on September the 12th, and we're happy to say that she just passed her written examination, so she officially has her CDL temporary permit.
All right.
And so we're getting her ready for the pre-trip inspection and this basic skills testing that she needs. She'll be working on her CDL, and we'll have that within 6 months. So we're glad to have her on board.
Welcome.
Welcome to the team. Whereabouts do you live?
I live in Bethel.
Bethel. All right. Awesome.
Whole life.
You gotta watch those people from Bethel, right, Howard?
Known Kathy for a long time. She's a good lady.
You live in the village proper, or the?
Yes.
Awesome. That's my cousin's actually your mayor.
Yes.
Yeah. Great. Welcome to the team.
Thank you.
And good luck
Thank you.
on the skill set there. Thanks, Lisa. All right, Carl. The Building Inspections Department.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Carl Lamping. I'm with the Clermont County Building Department. I'm Director. I'd like to introduce Sean Harmon today. He's our new inspector. He started September 26th. He's from Williamsburg. And along the lines of the parks, he enjoys the outdoors. He lives in Williamsburg because he likes to go to the state park in Eastport.
Well, good. So what are you going to be doing? You mentioned he's an inspector.
He'll be doing our non-certified inspections until he has 6 months to obtain his electrical and residential certifications. Then we can put him out in the field inspecting buildings. But initially, he'll be doing our non-certified inspections.
Awesome.
Very good.
Welcome to the team.
Thanks.
All right, Judy.
Good morning, Judy Eschman, Director of Job and Family Services, and it's my pleasure to introduce Nikki Stanley. She has joined our team in workforce development. She has a bachelor's degree from Ohio University and 19 years experience working in Job and Family Services, and she's done a ton of work. She started with Clermont County in 1996 in our Child Support Division.
Right.
She went to Highland County to do eligibility benefits there, and she's done child protection work in Ross and Clinton counties. So we're very fortunate to have her back, and now she's doing workforce development. So,
Well-rounded.
Very qualified.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Again, welcome. Welcome back, I should
Yes,
say.
I'm glad to be back. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Bob Sanders.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning.
Bob Sander, Human Resources. It's my pleasure to introduce Becky Ealing as our safety coordinator. In conjunction with Wade Grabowski, our safety officer, Becky will be responsible for the county's workplace safety and health program. She'll develop policies and procedures. She'll do safety inspections and coordinate safety training for county organizations. She has over 20 years' experience as safety manager in the trucking industry, and she's a former Hamilton Township trustee in Warren County. So Becky.
Wow.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Trustee.
you're a recovering trustee, right?
Recovering, yes.
That's awesome. Where do you live? You still live there, or?
I still live in Hamilton Township, yes.
Oh,
I've lived there most of my life, yep. I grew up there and lived there most of my life.
Great. Well, welcome to the team.
Thank you.
Keep
Thank
us safe.
you. I'll try.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Bob. All right. Item number 1 on our agenda is resolution number 153-16 to pay our bills in the amount of $990,734.75. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Connie, item 2, please.
Recommendation of Judy Ashman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Gabalt Incorporated, located in Terre Haute, Indiana, for the provision of residential treatment services for a specific child referred by the Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as defined therein, effective for the period of August 29th of 16 through August 28th of 17, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein, and contingent upon the issuance of a purchase order therefore.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced purchase of service agreement with the contingency as recommended?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. And item 3, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman, the Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to approve the request to advertise for bids for the purchase of prepaid fuel cards for use by eligible participants of the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program, the Non-Emergency Transportation Program, the Food Assistance Employment Training Program, as well as to other individuals outside of these funding streams as need is determined by the Department of Job and Family Services. Pursuant to the specifications therefore, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation on Thursday, October 13th of 16, with bids to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, October 27th of 16, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners in Batavia, Ohio, where they will be publicly open and read aloud shortly thereafter. And this notice is also posted on the Clermont County's website, and the link is www.clermontcountyohio.gov.
Is there a motion then to approve the request to advertise for bids and authorize Judy Casika, our clerk, to place the legal notice in the newspaper as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Thank you. Wow. Item 4. And Lyle, while you're coming up, Judy, on the prepaid fuel cards, is the numbers about the same as it was last year, or?
The number of participants?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Hopefully we can get it where we have a lot less. We'll get there. Lyle?
Lyle Bloom, Director with the Water Resource Department, and item 4 is a recommendation to authorize the release of a maintenance bond that provided surety for the installation of a sewer main extension to serve the following subdivision and to accept the sewer main extension into the county sewer system pursuant to the Clermont County Water Resources Department rules and regulations. This is for the Lexington Run subdivision, Bugler Sound Phase 4. It's in Batavia Township, and the bond amount was $3,000.
Is there a motion then to approve the release of the maintenance bond and to accept the extension to our county system as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay.
Thank you.
Suki, thank you. That was easy.
Good morning. Item 5, I'm Suki Sheets with Office Management and Budget, and item 5 is a recommendation to execute an extension of a contract between the board and Matrix Imaging Solutions out of Sanborn, New York. This is for the generation and mailing of the utility bills and notices for the Clermont County Water Resources Department. It was previously ratified by the board on October 23rd of 2013, and it represents the first one-year renewal period thereafter pursuant to and in compliance with Article 10 of the contract. So this renewal will be effective November 7th of this year through November 6th of 2017. The estimated amount is $144,700. That's an annual estimate, but the actual amount will be based on the number of bills and notices that we send.
Is there a motion then to execute the extension of contract with Matrix Imaging Solutions, Inc. as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Thanks, Suki. All right, item 6, please.
Item 6, item 6 is a recommendation of John Cascaden, Director of Public Safety Services, with my concurrence, execute a lease agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Education and U.S. Grant Vocational School District for the lease of premises for the site of the Emergency Communication System Tower and related equipment as depicted in Exhibit A and attached thereto, made part thereof, for a term of 5 years commencing 11/1/2016 through 10/31/2021, the sum of $47,913.60 payable in 60 equal increments of $798.56, with the option to renew this lease agreement for 2 subsequent 5-year terms, with the understanding that the renewal rate for the subsequent term shall in no event increase by an amount less than 12% in initial base rental, nor increase more than 29% for the initial base rental as stated therein, pursuant to and compliance with terms and conditions set forth, and this is contingent upon the release of the required purchase order.
Is there a motion then to execute the lease agreement with a contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Item 7, please.
Item 7, recommendation John Cascaden, Director of the Department of Public Safety Services, with my concurrence, execute a land lease agreement by and between the Board of County Commissioners and the Board of Township Trustees of Wayne Township for the lease of rental property for the siting of an emergency communications tower and related equipment, as required thereto and more fully described and depicted in Exhibit A, attached thereto, made part thereof, in consideration of payment in the amount of $1 per year, effective upon execution for a term of 5 years, and which shall automatically renew on each anniversary date thereof for a term of 5 years unless terminated by either party thereto, pursuant to compliance with terms and conditions.
Is there a motion then to execute the land lease agreement with the Wayne Township Trustees as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Item 8, please. Wade.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Beautiful weather. Agenda item number 8 is a recommendation from myself, Wade Grabowski, Director of Clermont County Facilities Management, with the concurrence of Mr. Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute an amendment to the contract for janitorial services for various county facilities for an annual Level 2 service by and between the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and Alpha and Omega Building Services, Kettering, Ohio, previously ratified by the Board of County Commissioners on June 3rd, 2015, which represents an extension of the contract for the first of 2 12-month renewal periods, therefore, pursuant to and in compliance with Article 10 of the reference contract for a total amount not to exceed $445,902.47, effective for the period of June 4th, 16 through June 3rd, 17, with all the terms and conditions of the original contract to remain in full force and effect. If I may clarify, that amount is the total amount of the contract. Because of our trustee program that we use, it gets reduced. So that is not the full amount that we pay.
So what do they actually do versus what our trustee program, what do they do?
There's basically, when we bid this, we bid it out as 3 separate services: a level 1, which was your top tier; a level 2, which was your middle tier; and a level 3, which was your bottom tier. What we found over the years is the bottom line here is for them to keep people employed. The folks that they have are, probably minimum wage to $10 an hour, and it's very difficult to keep people here, which, greatly affects our program. This year, what we've done is we've talked to the upper management, actually the Vice President, Mr. Onen, and the President, Mr. Baker, to ensure that we were going to have the proper amount of people here. The other thing they did, instead of having a roaming area manager, if you will, we are to have a full-time person here. So I always say you inspect what you expect, and that's what we need to do. I mean, we can't be here 24 hours a day, but they really do. But really, we're getting a mid-level service, not the top of the line, not the very bottom, but a mid-level. And we have had some issues in the past, which we're trying to work on. And I know the next...
I just want to answer to Mr. Yul's questions. They handle areas that the trustees are not allowed to.
That is correct. And that's what I was going to get into. A lot of folks believe in the trustee service, and they are a very, very good service. There are limitations on trustees that are able to come in our buildings, and unfortunately, because of our confidential areas, sometimes we cannot put trustees in certain buildings in certain areas. So pretty much Alpha and Omega handles those areas that the trustee programs cannot be in.
Okay.
And right now, they're at their limit, meaning the trustee program. They're running sometimes eight trustees a night with 2 service officers from the corrections, folks. And right now, they're about at their capacity. We're thinking about maybe trying to increase them, but they also do a lot of things for me that people really don't think of. Simple things like Commissioner Humphrey raising the flags at sunset, they handle that. Our folks don't have to do that. Taking care of the Board of Elections on election night, if you will, receiving all the properties that come back in. So they're doing a lot more than just the janitorial.
Good, good.
But it's a very, very good program.
Is there a motion then to execute the amendment for the contract for janitorial services with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 9.
Thank you very much.
Nope.
Thank you, Judy.
Item 9 is my recommendation to acknowledge receipt of the confirmation of Mark Shoemaker, Director of Public Facilities for KZF Design of Cincinnati, Ohio, that their fee proposal for Criteria Architectural Services will be held firm through the end of November 2016. Pursuant to the response to the request for statements of qualifications for Criteria Architectural Services for the proposed Clermont County Juvenile Court Facility Addition submitted on 8/11 of 2016 and in full compliance with Chapter 153 of the Ohio Revised Code. This is the new process that we're going through, the criteria design build process. And we are in negotiations currently with KZF on their fee proposal and needed to extend this for till the end of November to make sure we have the contract in place.
Is there a motion then to acknowledge the receipt of the confirmation from KZF and the response to the request for statements of qualifications for Criteria Architectural Services as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 10, please.
That is a recommendation of Pat Monger, County Engineer, with my concurrence to execute record plat number 629-2980 for the following subdivision located within Miami Township. This is for the Copper Creek Meadows subdivision, Miami Township.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced record plat and execute the combination bond as well as the performance bond for sidewalks as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 11, please.
Item 11 is my recommendation to acknowledge the receipt of notifications from Pat Monger, County Engineer, on 9/29/16 for his determination to close the following roads to through traffic. We have Locust Corner Road beginning Thursday, October 6th through Friday, October 7th, and Clough Pike beginning Tuesday, October 4th through Wednesday, October 5th.
Is there a motion then to acknowledge the receipt of our notifications from our county engineer in regards to the road closings as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 12, please. Yvonne?
Good morning. Yvonne Smith, Benefit Plan Coordinator for Clermont County. Is my recommendation and with the Horan Associates Incorporated and with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, to resolve to accept the recommended changes to the employee medical and stop-loss plans, add a preventive dental care plan, and accept Allstate as the vendor for voluntary accident coverage as presented to the board by Haran on 9/21 of 2016. The presentation which is attached hereto and made part thereof. To schedule the 2017 open enrollment period and to establish the 2017 cafeteria plan reflecting the employer and employee benefit contributions for medical, dental, and vision coverage as listed in the published agenda.
Board have any questions on any of these?
No.
All right, is there a motion then to accept the recommended changes and to schedule the open enrollment period and to establish our 2017 cafeteria plan as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
It's my recommendation with the concurrence of J. Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, to authorize Robert L. Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute a service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Bethesda Healthcare Incorporated, doing business as Tri-Health EAP of Cincinnati, Ohio, for the provision of employee assistance program and work-life services for all eligible county employees and their covered dependents at the rate of $14.76 per covered employee per year for an estimated annual amount of $20,000 based upon the current number of eligible employees. Effective for the period of 1/1 of 2017 through December of 2017, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein and contingent upon the adoption of the annual appropriations for fiscal year 2017 and the issuance and receipt of a purchase order therefore.
Yvonne, that rate per covered employee, is it the same as last year, or is it up a little bit, or?
No, it's the same.
Same.
Yes.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference services agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Tom, you have item 14? Oh, you're doing item 14, okay. Awesome. I didn't see that, I'm sorry.
Okay. I'm
You're better looking than Tom anyway, so.
I'm Terry Ousley with the Human Resources Department. Today I have a recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, Assistant County Administrator, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Rabel, County Administrator, to authorize Robert L. Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the Workers' Compensation Service Agency Agreement by and between the Clermont County Board of County Commissioners and Comp Management LLC of Dublin, Ohio, designating Comp Management LLC as the exclusive agent of the County of Clermont, Ohio, to receive, process, analyze, and examine claims filed against the county's risk with the Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation for a 3-year term with the effective periods and costs therefore as delineated below, and in addition thereto and in concert therewith, upon the request of Thomas J. Eigel or Stephen H. Rabel, subsequent to the recommendation of Clermont County Safety Coordinator, to authorize Comp Management LLC to provide up to 6 safety-related training sessions during any annual term of this agreement, or, I lost my place.
Any extension thereof?
Any extension thereof. Lost my place. Oh, I'm sorry. In accordance with Article 6.4 entitled Optional Services at Additional Fee, at an additional annual cost of $2,000, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of the purchase order required. Therefore.
Is there a motion then to execute the Workers' Compensation Service Agency Agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thank you. Welcome back, Suki.
Thank you. All right. Item 15 is our financials for this week. First, we have some supplemental appropriations. The first one being the Sheriff's Road Patrol overtime, $47,512. That is actually for overtime related to a traffic grant, so the funds are coming to offset that. We also have in the Workers' Compensation Program other expenses, $13,000 for the third-party administrator renewal and the safety expenses. Then we have a few budget transfers from juvenile detention fringe benefits to other expenses, $25,000. From juvenile court to probate court, other expenses, $3,500. From juvenile court to probate court, magistrate salaries, $1,300. And from the public safety non-operating fringe benefits to the public safety non-operating regular salaries, $1,900. So most of those are one-time transfers. Then we have a cash advance of funds from the General Drainage Improvement Fund back to the general fund, $7,202.80. This is from the advance that we provided for the Orchard Valley stormwater improvements, and so that the receipt of the taxes for this year has come in, and we'll repay what we can.
Awesome. Is there a motion then to approve the supplemental appropriations, the budget transfers, and the cash advance as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Our training and travel, item 16, please.
Clermont County Court of Common Pleas, we have Gary Scow, 4 days, Columbus, Ohio, for the Supreme Court of Ohio Judicial E Academy. In the County Sheriff's Office, Courtney McGuffney, Sean Thompson, Chris Orowski, and Josh Oberschlenk. 1 day, Cincinnati, Ohio, Hamilton County Emergency Management Agency course entitled Planning and Intervention of Gangs, Hate, and Terrorist Groups in Rural Jails and Prisons. We have Steve Leahy, 6 days, Columbus, Ohio, for the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association New Sheriff's Training. Expenses not to exceed $324.50. The second, Steve Leahy, for 6 days, Columbus, Ohio, Buckeye State Sheriff's Association New Sheriff's Training. Estimated not to exceed $324.50. Samantha Heist, 3 days, London, Ohio, Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy course entitled Field Training Officer Program, Ohio Model. Clermont County Water Resources Department, Steve Knipp, 1 day, Wilmington, Ohio, the Ohio Rural Water Association 2016 Fall Expo and Sportsman's Outing. Total expenses not to exceed $110. Department of Job and Family Services, Gretchen Beamer, 1 day, Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio Association of County Behavioral Health Authority Foundation Training, not to exceed $67. Judy Eschman and Shania Agin, 1 day, Cincinnati, Ohio. Clermont Chamber of Commerce 2016 Business Breakfast, expected not to exceed $50. And Carmen Hogel, 1 day, Dublin, Ohio. Ohio Association of Child Caring Agencies Embassy Suites Dublin Symposium, not to exceed $50.
Is there a motion then to approve the training and travel requests as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel? Mr. Proud?
Yay. Our personnel actions, 17, please.
Board of County Commissioners, Terry Owsley, HR Coordinator, end of probation effective 10/4/2016. Department of Job and Family Services, Vicki Lawson, new hire to a vacant position effective 10/10. Water Resources Department, Jason Simpson, termination resignation effective 10/14. Jim Culbertson, termination resignation effective 10/14. Jason Stevens, WRD Maintenance Tech, termination resignation effective 9/2. And Giles Thrift, WRD Supervisor, temporary job change effective 10/10. And Department of Public Safety Services, Daniel Young, resignation effective 10/1.
Is there a motion then to approve the personal actions as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Andy, I believe we have an add-on.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Andy Kukta, Director of Community and Economic Development. This is a recommendation to execute a letter of intent to file a grant application for Appalachian Regional Commission funding in the amount of $250,000 with the Ohio Development Services Agency for the construction of the South Afton Commerce Park access road situated in Williamsburg Township. So this was originally filed through the county CIC, through the normal economic development program, and we learned recently that it got shuffled off into the rapid response program, and we're told yesterday that the application actually needed to come from the Board of County Commissioners. They're changing how they're handling that policy, so we couldn't get the application ready for today's agenda, but this letter of intent would be helpful to get it locked in.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced letter of intent as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And I know with the letter of intent, again, I know we're going to be receiving bids,
Today, they're due today.
and of course we can receive, we just can't award
Correct.
anything yet until we get our go-ahead letter, which hopefully we'll get that soon. All right,
Andy,
thank you.
Andy, I know that 250 is great, and I know there's a lot of money being spent on the park, but is there a match, or is that just a grant, or
It's
250?
The amount of money that we're spending far exceeds any match requirement that they would have, so
Okay.
we definitely got the maximum points when it came to scoring our application.
Yeah, that was my
and
question.
matching.
Perfect. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. You have anything else? All right, we'll take a 5-minute recess for the minutes to be prepared. All right, let the record show the board came out of recess and has resumed session. Gentlemen, we have the minutes from today's session in front of us. When you're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 5th, 2016.
Second?
Jubal,
Yes.
Humphrey,
Aye.
Mr. Proud,
Yay. No further business. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey,
Aye.
Mr. Jubal,
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Thank you all. God bless.